All right, so a lot of people wanted to know my thoughts about Maschine. That's the correct way to say it. But a lot of us say Maschine 3.0. What are my thoughts? Real quick, my thoughts is I see the value, and that's just the thing. I see the value. You have to see the value, but I see where they're going. I see what's happening. I am fortunate enough to be one of the guys that can speak on some things that's happening as a content creator, because we do get access to a lot of things before the public, and you know just, we do have access to some of the people, and we can ask questions about certain things. But here is where the buck stopped. Yeah, we have access to that, but there is also limitations to the information that's shared with us. Even so, we don't get the full scope. So I can't really share with you guys what the future plans are. And, I can't, because I don't know. They don't share that. We only get content a few days before something release. And that's how we are able to cover things day 1, day 2, day 3, or whatever, or just whenever before a product actually starts to ship, like their hardware stuff or something like that. Now, I mean, that's cool, but yeah. Let me tell you guys what I think. I think I'm safe there. That's where I dwell. I dwell in my thoughts, and just based on my observation on where I see, if I see a future, is it bright? I feel like things are bright. I see a future. Even though it took them a long time to update Maschine. It's crazy, right? Yeah, a lot of you guys are thinking that, and you guys made that known, obviously. Real quick, Native Instruments is watching this channel, which means that they're looking at what you guys are saying. They're reading your comments, and they're just kind of seeing what the culture is. So if you so feel a desire to leave a thought or two in the comment section, that would be really cool. Native Instruments, again, they is watching, they listening, which is why we landed here, right? Yeah, it took a long time to get here, but they did it. They finally did it. And that just, we could look at it in a negative light or a positive light. If we look at it in a negative light, some of you guys are already thinking like, okay, well, there has been a lot of requests and things like that over the years, and it took them a while to get here, right? And then some of us on the positive tip can be like, well, they came out with 3.0. And which means that this is the start, or maybe this is a new focus in a new direction, and looking up to like what's to come now. You know what I mean? If you're looking at everything, that's kind of how I look at it. If you look at everything, just the history of Native Instruments, okay, their focus has been on their software, and and it is the reason why I still rock with them. That is a question someone asks, actually. They're like, why are you still using them? And there's way more better products and blah, blah, blah. And I think the fact that it took them so long to release something new in terms of Maschine, that was the force behind that comment. Also, addressing the big elephant in the room, Akai, hello. Akai has been like running laps around Maschine, of course. They seem like every week there's Akai is releasing new things or whatever. So they are doing really well there. Their update schedule is fire. Yeah. It's making a lot of people happy. So a lot of people moved from Native Instruments to Akai because of that. However, there's a lot of us that stayed. And that is the thing that some people can't understand. Why do you stay? Well, for me, it's the quality of the products that they have. I like their products. I am in their ecosystem very heavy. And even though something may not work correctly, like how we lost integration, right? That's a big one. Integration is a lot. It's a major thing, how you have devices that talk to each other. You know what I mean? That is the sole reason why I buy certain things, just so it talks to everything. I don't want to buy something that's just totally the opposite. You know what I mean? Anyway, integration means a lot to me. But when NKS2 was introduced, I understood what was going on. So I didn't panic when I didn't have access, my complete control. MK3 didn't have the integration with the Maschine MK3. I was okay. Partially because I use the Maschine as a plug-in most of the times. So it wasn't a big deal, but it was a deal, but I found the workaround. It didn't bother me as much. But for some of you guys, it was a huge deal. And, so Native Instruments made a quick fix. What I mean by that? Okay. So with Maschine 3.0, there is integration that they implemented with the keyboards and the Maschine product. However, it is not full integration because there are some limitations. There's some things we still can't do. Like, for instance, on the keyboard, you can't see the browser. In order to get to the browser, you have to use your machine in order to go through your kits. All right. That's kind of one of those things. Next thing is the graphics on the keyboard. It's a little bit different from what we see on the machine. The machine still display the same stuff. Nothing changed there. But on a keyboard, the graphics are different and it looks pretty nice, right? That's the other thing. But the integration, you still have the transport control. I guess that's probably most important to a lot of people. You still have access to the play, stop, rewind, record, that type thing. That will talk to machine, no problem. And I think that's great for now. I would suspect Maschine MK4 or Studio MK2 or whatever. I'm not sure. Again, we don't get that type of details, whatever. But the only reason why I feel like there's a strong direction there because NKS2, right? Currently, NKS2 is only on the keyboards. So what do you think going to happen next? There's going to be a new Maschine that's going to have NKS2 on that. And then I feel like that's when the integration, because on that, the newer machines will have the hardware that supports this NKS2 concept, right? So that's the only reason why I feel like we should see something like that in the pipeline pretty soon. I don't know when. Again, they don't share that with me, but that just me just sitting back, observing how things are playing. Now let's talk about the features. Okay, so the features, they are listening to the community because they added stem separation, which is pretty decent, give or take. I guess it depends on what you are separating it, the quality or whatever. But if I think about that, like how stem separation works for me in my workflow, I only separate something to grab something out of a mix, and I end up layering on top of that anyway. So you will not hear the artifacts as much, and if you do, there are tools that you can use to clean up those artifacts with isotope stuff, obviously, or the simplicity behind equalizing certain things or whatever, right? It's always ways around this stuff, right? Why don't you just use Serato sample, Serato Studio, whatever? Well, here's the thing: a lot of people don't have that, so it's nice that it is included inside of the DAW by default now. So tools that are available to you inside of, it's always a good thing, a better concept than having, because Serato is a cost that a lot of people are not in favor of. You know what I'm saying? And then it's a third party deal. You got to throw that in the project and blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a little late well, I ain't gonna say that. I think it's stem separation is now included. That's kind of where I am with that. Okay, now we have it. It's not really a big deal, but it's we got it. Okay, moving along. You know what I mean. Is not just a lot of people thoughts on that. It's like, man, Anyway, so now we have more editing features with MIDI. Great, we can do more DAW-like type stuff, which is something that's very welcomed. Now we can pre-hear. That was a big thing with me, being able to click on notes and hear what it's doing. That was huge. Big ups to them for doing that. And then there's some other things that they've done that I can't really think of. If I think of, I'll mention it. But I see a bright future. Everything, guys, is not in a part of the update. A lot of people are upset about that, and I totally get that. It is what it is right now, and it's for some people it's not worth it, and it's totally fine. Tools that we use is all about the value that we see that justifies the money that we pay to have such things. If you don't see value, that's cool. The other thing I notice is that some people base their opinion or assumptions based on what other people has to say. And so they're sitting back like, yeah, that is right. What he said, now I'm going to adapt that to my beliefs. And I have to deal with some of these comments because people just take what somebody else said and they apply that to something I said. And then we got this thing where I have to break things down because that person didn't do their research, or, I have to introduce a different perspective because sometimes one perspective is not good enough. So, that is the reason why I still use Native Instruments. It's just the workflow is beautiful. I use the DAW most of the times, like Bitwig, Ableton Live, Studio One, and to be able to access things like Contact with instruments in there is like my golden workflow. And when I need to add drums, I pull the Maschine or whatever I'm doing with Maschine. Sometimes I do different things. Maschine, by the way, still can control Studio One. Like the integration is still there. No issues there. I can have Maschine control Bitwig, no problems. Some people don't know how to do that. I did a video on that. That video, the last video I did on that, is still valid. You just have to go and search for a Mackie. Well, in Studio One, that is. If you're in Studio One, you just go and search for Mackie, the Mackie protocol, and just make sure you look for Maschine virtual ins and outs, and it should work like a charm. Okay. Let's talk about the pricing. Well, when we talk about the value, yeah, I mean, as an upgrade, it's only $30. That's it. That's just to get to 3.0. If you want access to the Maschine Central, which is their new thing that they're doing, you get access to 100 plus kits and 100 plus one shots and whatever. It just comes with a lot of stuff. Now that price right there is, I think, $60. $60 to get you 144. I think that's the number. Kits. When they said Maschine Central, I thought initially that it was some type of cloud thing that they were doing and was attached to some type of monthly subscription. But it turns out that that's not the case. It's just you get a bunch and those kits are versatile between many, I'll say all genres. So you have everything right there, I believe. It's coming with one shots, I believe, and some sound libraries or whatever. So yeah, there's definitely value there. $60 for upgrade price. That's it. That's a hard price for a hard product. I dig it. I dig it. For the new people, it's just $100 to get everything. And if you don't want the upgrade, the 3.0, then it's just, I believe, I forget what the price is, but it's to get the machine central. It's, I forgot what the price is, but it's cheap price as well. So you could continue using 2.0 if you want, and you want those kits, bruh. They offer that. So I think their pricing structure it makes sense, and is certainly affordable, and yeah, I ain't mad at it. So essentially, there is not a lot that happened in the update, and I think a lot of people are upset about that. The update is not, it's not what you were expecting, which is totally fair. You know, there's a lot of things that I wanted to see and I don't see. You know, it is what it is. But if I'm the one looking at how things are playing out, I feel like, okay, here we go. We are heading somewhere, and I feel like it's heading in the right direction, and I'm digging it. We got Bounce in Place, guys. I knew I'd think of something else. Bounce in Place. This is something that's dear to my heart. Things that I like to do. I've did a Ableton Live deal doing several strings, and I just I frowned upon their method of bouncing in place. You have to freeze a track first, and then you have to duplicate it if you don't want to lose your plug-in placement. You know what I mean? So you duplicate that and then freeze it, and then you got to go and bounce it down. They use a different term to describe bounce down, but it's like, what? But now their bounce down is one button now. It's called freeze and bounce or something weird like that. That's their method, which is cool. So now Ableton Live can bounce in place. Great. Maschine couldn't do that there, but I learned a workaround. But now it's here. Cool. We now have support for MP3. You know what I mean? To import. You can import MP3 into some other files, old CC, FLAC, whatever, some other file forms that I don't really use. However, you can't export out as MP3, which a lot of you guys are upset about. And I have feelings towards that as well. I was like, man, really? So we can import MP3s, but we can't export MP3? Oh my gosh, like really? Why? But I feel like that's coming, because when people like me make videos like this and they address that, I feel like it's coming. It's coming. It's going to be the next update. I feel like it's going to be MP3 export, because that's huge. A lot of us just want to bounce down our music in that format, and you know, that saves us less work, because currently, well, what we've been doing for years is taking that wave. I wonder what was the concept behind that though. Like, what was Native was thinking, like, to not have that as a feature, not to be able to export your music as MP3? Like, that's what everybody do. Like, that is the end all be all. Like, Wave is great in the post-production stuff, you know, send it off, get it mixed, blah, 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 whatever you did with Waves. But when the final product, or you just want something to rock to in the car, we always like to have MP3, because it's smaller. We can email it to our clients. Hell, we can text it to our clients, which is what I do all the time, you know. But in Maschine, I have to, you know, do it a different way. Anyway, I digress. I see the value here, but you may not. And that's totally fine. The Kai is running laps. Of course, this is, it's like You know what I'm saying? That is always going to be the topic. Akai machine, Akai NPC machine, NPC. You know, like a lot of people left machine to go to the dark side, so to speak, because obviously Akai is releasing a lot more updates, frequent updates. They always got a hardware that comes out every week. there's a new NPC all the time, and so it makes people feel like they are somewhere where, you know, there's things happening, you know, and you know, I ain't mad at that. Certainly not mad at that. I have some people who left because they felt like Native Instruments has not. They just gave up. That's what a lot of people felt like, and I respect that. You know, at the end of the day, to me, it's like it is what it is. It's like you got to do what's best for you. You got to gravitate towards what works for your workflow. And if leaving machine, the workflow was the situation that worked for you, then that it that's what it is. You know what I mean? I can't get mad at that. Unfortunately, some people don't feel that way. Some people will make it known, especially on my channel, why they believe in and why they will not return, and how machine don't have this and that and the third, and you know, why you still there? Because I like it. I like machine. I like Native Instruments. That's why I'm still here. Why can't you respect that? Why is that a concern of yours? You know what I mean? Like, I just, I don't. I'm trying to wrap my mind around like why people even spend so much of your frequency worrying about what other people are doing, and if whatever it is, it's better products. Like if whatever you doing works for you, then just let that be. Work with what work best. Oh my gosh, Ugh. People are and will be people, I guess. But I like it, and I'm not only saying it because I'm a fanboy, which some people will say. Again, I'm a fan of their products because I like their products. It's quality. I feel like I can do everything that I need to do, whether it's producing music for TV, some cinematic work, or producing music for an artist, or sound design, or just whatever I'm doing. I use Native Instruments products, and it's not because they send me stuff. I've bought their stuff. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. I spent money over the years. I've used the vouchers. I remember the vouchers. Get those in the email when you buy something. They send you a voucher. You use that voucher to go grab a new kit. I've been there. I've done that. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I get it. I was one of those peoples. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have product from Native Instruments that I don't see myself using. You know, there's some stuff in here that, but the way that I look at it is like, man, there's a variety of stuff that you can use for any project, no matter what you're doing. Now, that's not to say that you can't do that inside of MPC. I am not saying that. So I don't want you guys to take that like, yeah, you trying to say that you can do more. That's not what I'm saying. For me, it's just workflow. I like what they're doing versus MPC. I don't use MPC, so I can't speak much on it. However, I've seen several videos of people using MPC and some of the products that's available on that platform, and you know, I think it's cool. I have much respect for people who use those products and can get work done, and I enjoy those videos, and I follow and subscribe to a lot of channels that use MPC. No problem. I just love production. That's what I'm here for. I don't have I don't know. I'm not prejudiced towards what people use to make music. Like if you make great music, I'm going to follow you. That's just period. That's how I roll. You know. So if NPC, FL Studio, Reason, Logic, Cubase, New Window. If you somebody who still use the beat thing, y'all remember that? If it's fire, it's fire. I'm gonna watch. You know, so that's just kind of how I am, and I hope my channel is like that too, where people just kind of just respect the music, respect the craft, the artwork that happens on the channel. That's the type of people I'm looking to follow the channel. And I would say I have a nice handful of you guys that are here, so I appreciate you guys that just rocks with me because you appreciate the vibes. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. The beat culture is all about vibes. You know what I mean? We just so happen to use Studio One, which is why a lot of you guys are following. We just so happen to use Bitwig just so that we are using Ableton Live, and we're using Maschine, and whatever else I talk about here on the channel, or just great content. You guys enjoy watching the Kultr cast. Just me just giving my thoughts about what's happening in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is here. And I really, really appreciate that. But whatever y'all have to say, leave it in the comment section. Whatever. I'll brace yourself, Ella. Brace yourself. Because you're going to see some stuff. Post your comments. Let me know what y'all thinking. Where Maschine 3 is heading. Do you feel good about it? No, maybe not. I don't know. Again, Native Instruments is watching. So say whatever you need to. You know what I mean? Native Instruments need to hear the hard truth of the users who use their products. If you love them, hey, give a shout out. If you ain't feeling it, I mean, by all means, say what you need to say. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just don't come at me sideways. Like, why are you still using it? Is it something better? Like, come on, man. Really? Nah, man. Don't do that. That is one of those things where I'm irritated. Like don't judge me based on the fact that I'm using what I come on, man. All right. I digress. Ella, beat culture, lifestyle government art.